because nobody's lost, right? Nobody's trying to look
No.
for the other one to resolve it. You're just like, son of a biscuit, I did it again.
That's exactly how it works.
And then I think what ends up happening is you end up elevating each other because you're still looking at yourself honestly.
Yeah. Which takes some balls to do anyway, doesn't it?
Well,
Neither of us are running away from, like, let's call it what they do, the dark, what is it? The Dark Night of the Soul. We're not running away from that because 'cause I'm finding that phrase ridiculous now.
the dark night of the soul.
Looking Yeah, when you're doing all your shadow work and everything,
Hmm.
and everyone gets all emotional about it and really down in the dumps. That never really happened for me. When I was going through that era of my life of, like, looking at absolutely everything and ripping it to shreds and finding where it all came from and then realizing all the stuff that you realize whilst going through it, I actually felt elevated. There was more fire in my belly at that point than any other point in my life, and it's continued with me. But now, when we discuss things, it's similar to that sort of era, but a lot more elevated and more high vibing. So everything's just easier and flows better. There's no weight.
I think that I have taken it on both. I've I I think I've experienced it maybe in both ways where I have been like when I collapsed my reality around me, I
Yeah.
definitely went down pretty deep and dark into um going, fuck, I did all of that. And that was followed by, and I oftentimes wonder because that was followed by 2 years of redefining who I was from not being able to
Yep.
do what I was before. So I felt like I was already pretty deep into a canyon of me, and then let we'll just do some more. Like what, you know, like in a like pretty deep and dark. And so,
Yes.
but then at other times, it's very easy to go back and go and just laugh about it and be like, oh yeah, you still do that. And I don't know. I haven't decided if it's because it's on the other side of that, because it's all, if you like going fast, right? If you drive fast, you're like, oh, 60 miles an hour is fast. And then you go 100 miles an hour, you're like, oh, 100 miles an hour is fast. And then
Mhm.
you go 150 miles an hour and you're like, oh, 150 miles an hour is really fast. And then but because the bar is always changing, like the level of intensity has changed, then it's so maybe because of how deep it was, it's easy to laugh about those things now. I don't know.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
And I
But
and
it
I
is so much easier now.
yeah. Well, and I think give credit where credit's due, because you make you make that process easy as well, because it's fun, because it's okay to laugh about it. It's okay to go, oh, you know what? That was like, yeah, I still do that. Well, okay, let's laugh about it, be aware of it, and move on, instead of going, oh, yep, you do that, and then let's sit and rub salt, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that I think is another tendency that people have, is to
Absolutely.
sit and, if be aware of it, and then just sit and rub salt in it over and over and over again. Well, that doesn't do anything. Like, you have to, the point of
You have
awareness,
to
right?
fully accept it.
Yeah, you can sit there and find a rattlesnake out there in the grass, and you can sit there and poke at it and poke at it and poke at it all you want, but eventually it's going to bite you. Or you can go, oh, there's a snake, and then you just move on and it does its thing, and you know. You're like you
Yeah,
know, and then you know what to do with it, but you don't have to sit and just you don't have to sit and rile it up all the time. And so I think that yeah, there's a healing aspect of you that because you're willing to be aware and move forward, it ends up being a very elevating place because
and I find the same quality in you as well.
it keeps the journey moving, right?
Yes.
Because we weren't made to be static. We're not.
No, no. I've never I I can't do stillness and staticness. Absolutely not.
And I don't ever want to be a I'm not a ruminant. Like I am not a ruminator at all. You know,
Mm.
I don't ruminate on things. It's and a lot of people have a hard time with me about it because they're how do you not worry about that? I'm like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do? You got your time machine in your back pocket?
Uh-huh.
You gonna go back and change it? No, all you can do is you have an experience, you have a memory formulated around that experience, and that memory is changing every day. So the experience is not even what you experienced. It's an echo, it's an imprint of, but
Exactly.
it's not the experience in totality. And so then what? You're going to go back and change something that's not actually what it is? That sounds pretty impressive. While you're at it, I want an ice cream cone that never stops having ice cream in it and doesn't melt and is natural.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. And so it's so that but a lot of people want to ruminate. I think that so when people talk about people like society as herd animals, I think that there's an odd correlation between people that ruminators, or rumination, the act of, and animals that have more than one stomach that chew on their own cud.
Yes, I can see that. I can absolutely see that.
Because isn't that what the animals doing? Like in their three stomachs, they have their little filter, and the small stuff that's able to pass through passes through, and the rest of it goes back and gets recycled again and again and again and again until it finally comes out
Yeah.
the other end.
Hmm. What a beautiful correlation you just made.
And then I think that society wise, you have a people with a tendency to chew on things, chew on it again and again and again, and that anchors them. They're stuck there.
Yep. Yep. And you can
Bah.
watch it in real time as well. Yes.
Yes. Bah.
But how do you break them out of that?
You can't.
I, d- I know, but I keep trying.
I think I truly believe it's a led by example, and then you teach children too. But
Yeah.
that's why I use like I'm a little bit harsh with it, and that's why I use the time machine, reference. Oh, you got fucking time machine in your pocket. You're gonna go back and morph something around that you don't have total understanding of. That it is a figment of your imagination. Whatever happened in the past is a figment of your imagination. So you're gonna go back and change that something to whatever you want it to be. Okay, bring me my fucking ice cream cone that doesn't melt and is 100% natural. You just don't understand. So you're right. I don't. I 100%. We are in agreement. I do not understand. I do not understand how you
No.
travel back in time to change something, and then that usually stops it.
And then, yeah, the ruminators don't understand the alchemism. They don't understand the alchemist. They'll think it's woo woo. but the alchemist has to move on, has to try something new.
Well, you have to, because ultimately what I think, ultimately you have an experience, right? You may not agree with the outcome of that experience. And then the only rectification to that experience is to move forward, right? And
Yes,
re-experience that experience again with a different outcome. So that's an alchemical process, because you took the outcome, you learned something from it, and then when it comes up again, you do something differently with it, right?
yes,
So in that place, now all of a sudden you don't like, now you never deal with that thing anymore. If all you do is sit and chew on yesterday's experience, you're missing the opportunity to do something with it in today's experience, because more than likely you're still reliving that experience over and over and over again, because
yes,
that's where you're stuck at, and you haven't stepped back. Because the thing that I've seen will happen is you'll have an experience and you'll go, oh, I shouldn't do that, I should handle it differently this way. It comes up again, you handle it differently. Then it comes up again and you handle it differently, because there's always a polishing, right? There's always, like, it's never
yeah,
perfect. There's always a different way to deal with it each and every time. You can always do something better with it. And so um, I think that a lot of people forget, or they don't know, and I don't know how you teach them other than by example. I don't know how you say other than by example, like, if you're going to do something different, then do something different. You have the opportunity, but you have to let go of yesterday to get on to the new. You have to.
yeah. So they're basing their whole life on something that may or may not have happened as they remembered it, which keeps them in a loop,
Yeah,
a
well, and
stagnant loop.
yeah, and how do you, yeah, because how, like, you I can promise you that any story I tell you did not happen exactly the way that I tell it, simply because I don't know, and I've morphed it, and the farther back we go, the more
Yeah,
influence it has from today on what it was, right? Or what that memory
yeah,
was. Like, it's just because, that's just the way it is. Like, we look like,
yeah,
a lot of times I look at my brother and my sister that are super hung up on the way that my dad treated us as kids. So, well, yeah, yes or no, but, like, irrespective of that thing, what part of it have how much of that cycle have you chosen to hold for yourself to justify your existence in the now?
exactly.
Because if you're,
Exactly that. They're shaping their now with a memory
hmm,
that is so emotionally charged. You can't do that because that will keep you in the same pattern of behavior.
yeah, well, you can. They are. You can do it if you want. I don't want to. And
No.
at the same time, I think it's the other side of that trap is complete delusion, right? Where you're just like, you're completely
Yeah.
blind to everything that's happening. You're like, no, everything was wonderful. I rode around on unicorns from the time I was, like, half a year old until I turned till now. Like, I'm gonna go to the store in a minute. I'm gonna ride my unicorn to the store. That doesn't work either, because there again, you're just living a lie. But either way, you're living a lie on either side of the lie.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think if you shape your memories in a way that creates you successful today, and you look at the positive aspects of it, I mean, even from the point of, like, if you can't find anything and you're like, well, I'm here, so something good must have happened, right? I can't
Exactly.
there was a contribution to my existence. Thank you very much, and I'm on my way. Even if it's like
Yes.
that, even if it's that simple, black and white, like, that's the baseline function of it, then all of a sudden it's like, it's okay to exist now. We're back to existing now, because existing now is good.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
He's that was super good.
And it's only gonna get better.
My God, you're sexy. I so look forward to kissing you.
Good, 'cause so am I. It kind of feels a bit surreal, do you not think?
It does. It does.
But that's good.
Yeah. Well, so me, I wouldn't want it any other way, to be honest with you.
No.
I, I have grown to appreciate the time that we've spent communicating and learning and sharing and touching on very deep points of life. Like I do not have any concern for the future of being able to communicate with you on a meaningful level.
Good, 'cause that is not a challenge that, you're gonna get.
Yeah, no, I super look forward to it because you and I will forever and a day have meaningful conversations about amazing things.
Yes. And they'll always morph into something really strange too,
Yeah,
which I love.
like cake eating ravens.
Yeah. And plotting world domination.
Yeah, through in the softest way possible.
Exactly.
World domination with silk napkins.
I think we're already doing that though, to be honest.
It's quite possibly indeed. I think that I don't I have fun with it and I think it's important. I think it's super important.
Yes.
And I think that we have an amazing perspective to share. I think we have amazing perspectives to share with the world around us. And hopefully it encourages others to come out of hiding and share as well.
Yeah.
Do you,
Yeah.
th- do you think it will? I think it will.
Well, yes, I know it will. I know it will because I think humanity's at a point now where they might say they're not ready for that sort of talk, but I know they are. I know they are.
I I think I
As
100 go
we
ahead.
wouldn't have met, there wouldn't be the friend circles that we've got, they would not exist had it not been the right time.
Oh, you mean you and I meeting on a platform full of however many users on a planet with 9 billion people,
Exactly.
half a world away from each other? No, come on.
Yes.
There's nothing instrumental about that. What are you talking about? What are the odds? Like the lottery,
Exactly.
the lot that would be like winning the lottery, every lottery drawing for the rest of eternity. Those are the odds.